Alright, let's go ahead and get the latest version of Unity. We'll go to unity3d.com. It's going to be the site for Unity. From their homepage, what you'll notice is that you'll see a button that says Get Unity 5. Also up at the top, there's a Get Unity here. In case once this one switches, you can always just go to the Get Unity. Inside of here, Unity 5, the main difference if you've come from the 4-point or 3-point version and you're going into the 5 version, you're going to notice that all of the features that used to be Pro are now under the Personal or Free version. Personal Edition allows you to have all of the main features, all the needed things, all the effects and all the cool stuff that used to come packaged with the Pro version. The main difference now that separates the Personal Edition from the Professional Edition is going to be all of the larger team stuff. If you're going to do cloud builds, analytics, if you're going to have team licenses, all of those things are going to be now part of the Professional Edition. So getting the free version, this is going to provide you with all the great stuff that's inside of Unity right now. Let's go ahead and click on the free download. When it takes you to the option, what you'll have is going to be a download installer. Right down below here though, you'll see the additional downloads. There's a for Windows. If you click on the drop down, you'll see that you have the option to choose the 64 for Windows. You can also choose the torrent downloads now for the Windows and Mac version as well. So you can choose what you need to on this part, including the example projects. I would encourage you to get the example standard and built-in shaders. Those are great ones just to kind of include, build, kind of get a jump start with what Unity has available for you. Over on the right hand side on the platform type, you can choose between your Mac OS X and the Windows version. I'm on Windows right now, so I'm just going to choose the window, and then what you want to do is just click on the download once you've selected it. For instance, I'll choose my Unity 64, and it's going to prompt me with the saving. If you want to do the download installer, it'll download the small installer executable, and then it'll download from that. I'm going straight from the download right here. You just want to click on the save file. It'll start to save it, and as it saves it, just be sure you know where it saves. If it's going to your downloads, your desktop, or wherever it's going to be ending up there. I'm going to go ahead and cancel on this one for the moment because I've already downloaded it. Once you download it though, we'll go ahead and lower this so you can see. I've downloaded the executable right here. So we have the Unity Setup 64 executable. And this is what we would actually use to install Unity and then get things up and going. And that's what we'll start in on next. Alright, now that we've downloaded Unity 5 executable here, the 64-bit version, I'm just going to double click on it. And when it gets started, it'll probably prompt you with the security warning and just ask you if you want to run it. You can say yes to this. Once it gets started, it'll do the setup screen. The setup screen is going to walk us through just the basic setup. We just want to make sure we agree to the license, so we can say I agree. And then be sure that Mono Develop is checked. We want to make sure that's installed with it. You can click on Next, and then you'll get the option. It's going to say where to install it to the program files Unity. We'll install it here. I've already installed it just to save a little bit of time. What you want to do is click on Install. It'll take a couple of minutes. Once it gets finished installing, go ahead and cancel this part on my side. Once it gets done installing, you'll have a Unity 5 shortcut on your desktop. You can double click on the Unity 5 shortcut. What it's going to do, what I've done right here, it's already prompted me with the splash screen, and then it shows me the my project screen, my getting started. For you, when you run through it the very first time, it'll ask you for your account. You just set up your name and a password, and then it'll ask you a couple of questions about what do you want to use Unity for. After that, then it'll get started, and you can say start using Unity. And then with this window, the basic part, just to make sure we understand, there's a getting started. They have a little video. It just kind of walks through the cool features of Unity 5, and you can play through it and see it. Down on the bottom part, you have a community, documentation, and tutorials. Each of these are going to allow you to see a little bit more into what Unity is. It's going to take you to their website. Going back to the project side, Any projects you currently have are going to show in this window right here. Over on the right hand side you have a Open Other and you have a New Project. We could click on New Project. New Project is going to allow us to give it a title, and then you can give it a location. And then once you have those, you can say whether you want to start default in 3D or 2D mode. This is just simply, it's going to change a single button inside of Unity to force it to a 2D or 3D. You can add packages. The packages here are going to be whatever you've downloaded from the Unity Asset Store. Will be available to click a checkbox and place directly into your project from the start. Over on this side, you notice you have the Create Project or Back. We could say Create Project. When we create it, Unity is going to build out the project for us. Now, what we've seen up to this point, this is all the default of how Unity works. The one part with Unity, when you open the version 5 up, you're going to notice that the sky in the background is showing. Also, the personal edition is going to be the light gray screen. Inside of here, you'll see that you have a skybox already inside the scene. There's a sun up here on the top part. If you don't want to see it, remember this is just your effects option right here. If you click on the drop down, you'll notice that you have the options to turn individual off. You can also leave them on or turn them all off from there. Biggest difference between Unity 4 and Unity 5 in terms of starting it up from the very beginning, one would simply be the background scene here, having the global illumination as an available option. Also, the very start screen like we were looking at before, rather than being a standard windowed style, they just changed up the interface a little bit for us. Other than that, the top option up here on window, you'll notice that you do have the option for profiler, you have a audio mixer, and then you have a couple of other ones, frame debugger and occlusion culling, navigation things. You have a few extra properties here in Unity 5. Also, using the personal edition does allow you to have those as well, which is great. Alright, so that's basically getting started with Unity 5, and it's kind of getting an idea of what's different and what's the same. Alright. Let's go ahead and take a look at the basic layout for Unity. This is going to be the default, so we'll just take a look at what they present for us. Starting at the top left, you'll notice you have a menu bar over here. Menu bar is going to be standard for options and things. We'll go through the major ones that you'll want to use. Below it is the toolbar. Toolbar is going to go all the way across, all the way through here. The hierarchy is going to be the space that has all of your current scene objects. So for instance, there's a main camera in our hierarchy. Notice inside the scene, if I left click, I'll see that camera right here. Going from the hierarchy panel over, you'll see the scene tab and a game tab. Game is going to show you what the camera sees. The scene is going to show you from an extracted view of a camera so that you can see everything in the scene. Going over, we'll have the inspector. The inspector is going to be the place where all of your properties of your objects are displayed. For instance, if I click on a camera, I'll notice that my camera for my inspector now shows main camera, and it has properties inside of here. Going over to the bottom left, we'll see project. Project is going to be where you store all of your files for your entire game. So this won't just be one scene, but this may be 100 scenes and hundreds of art assets and characters and animations and items, all inside of here. Last one is a console. Console is going to be where you see printed out output for a debug on your coding side. That way you know what's happening inside your scene. So for Unity Basics, when it comes to the default setup, this is the default setup we all get. This is what we're all going to be working with. We're also going to be taking this and actually creating different interfaces for it so that we can see how we can use it for our advantage. We're going to take a look at the project browser. This is going to be the bottom panel right here. Let's go ahead and just left click, drag this up a little. The project browser, again, this is going to be the one that shows you all the elements inside of your project. This can be a lot of assets inside of here. It has several kind of key features to it though. It not only holds your project files, over on the far right hand side it has an option to find, so you can find and you can have filters. The filter options you'll notice by clicking on the little guy there and the little one here. Each one will allow you to filter through the different types and different labels for it. Inside of the search, we have nothing inside of our project right now, but if I was to type in, for instance, AI, by typing in this, it's not only going to search here, notice I'm also searching the asset store on Unity side. If you left click on the asset store here, it's going to populate for you. It'll let you actually see. We'll go ahead and drag the slider. This is going to be the icon display size. We'll drag this down. That way you can see a couple of options that come with the asset store. So when I type in AI, I get a handful of different file types, ones that are paid and then ones that are free. You can click on the more option if you want to see more, and it'll just show you all the ones that are currently available. If you're interested in one of the products, you can actually just go to the product, you can click on it. When you click on this one over on the inspector side, it'll populate and show you the version, show you the price, show you the maker of it. Alright, so this is going to be your basic setup. Works really well, especially when you're first getting started. If you're in the middle of something and you're like, well, I'd like to do X, Y, or Z, type it in, see if it's available before you start working on it. The other side of the project, if you right click on the project tab, you'll notice that you get a 1-column layout and a 2-column layout. The 2-column layout allows you to have access to a hierarchy structure here and to be able to show the folder data inside of here. So as an example to see it, I'm going to right click on assets and do create and just go over to material. So we'll create a new material. We'll just call this one new material. We'll even do another one. We'll call this one create, and we'll do a folder. And the folder, let's just say new folder. And then last thing, if we click in here and right click on the new folder, we could do create, and we'll say animator controller. We're not really concerned about what we're putting in, but just to kind of give you an idea of how the folder structure works, is that I can go to my assets. I'm not going to see the material over here, I'm just going to see the folder. If I double click on the folder, I'll go inside and see the folder here. On the top, you'll get the cookie crumb system right there so that you can actually work your way back through it. When you select any of the items here, you'll also notice in the inspector, you'll be able to see the items over here. Alright, that's 2-column layout. If you right click on project and choose 1-column layout, notice the 1-column layout doesn't necessarily need all the space anymore. Something like this could actually be tabbed to just a side where you just need just the vertical, not a horizontal fill to it. This one's going to show you folder and item inside. And same process, if you click on it, you're still going to get the option inside the inspector to see it. And you'll still have the option here to type in for a filter.